It is said that anything is possible if you have the right people around you. When you do not have the right people around you, life seems a bit fragile. One needs to be blessed to be surrounded by good people who will always trust and support you. Everyone needs family and friends who will make them happy. They are the ones who help us in need and care for us all the time. But it is so unlucky to not have such a caring family or friends to support one. Most of the time, family members are the only people that you can ever count on at the end. But some unfortunate people will have to go through hell inside their families itself. Maybe because of being poor, unethical social backgrounds of parents, and improper occupations of family members will lead to depressive situations of kids in the family. So, the only people that those kids will believe in may be their friends. True friends are never apart, maybe in distance, but never in heart. Today, we have found a story which will enhance this quote. It is the story of Patrick Wanjiru, a Kenyan man who had been struggling for his life after becoming a drug addict and being helping by one of his childhood friends. Before starting, make sure you've subscribed to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified with our latest updates. Wanja Mwaura is a professional nurse working at the Kiambu County Local Hospital in Kenya. She is such a busy person who even does not have much time to go shopping freely. That day, Wanja was walking to the nearby supermarket to buy some daily supplies. It was the same road and same route which she walked for numerous days when visiting the hospital. But that day, Wanja was walking to the nearby supermarket to buy some daily supplies. It was the same road and same route which she walked for numerous days when visiting the hospital. But that day, she saw someone whom she has not seen while walking in that path before. It was a fragile man dressed up with dirty clothes and had a rough look which was unrecognizable. But Wanja had a thought that she had seen this man somewhere else, and her mind told her that the man's appearance was like someone whom she knew. Even though she had no time to mess up with these random things, her heart told her to go near that man. She quickly stepped towards this vague man and was surprised after seeing who he actually was. The man sitting at the edge of the road was none other than an old classmate of Wanja. She was both so happy and so shocked to see him on the streets. Wanja remembered this man was Patrick Wanjiru, one of her primary school classmates in the year 1992, who was a popular and talented kid around those days. Patrick was named as Pele for his immense talent in soccer. He was also a promising student who got high grades for almost all of the subjects throughout the primary school years. He could transfer to one of the best high schools around that area for his performance in primary school. No one knew that it was the start of his dark life. His life started to drain after getting addicted to cigarettes in high school. Both his teachers and friends were so surprised and shocked to see his ranks getting down bit by bit and him getting away from them. They tried to stop him, but nothing could detach from his ill manners. Finally, they gave up hope on him. Patrick started to get himself more and more involved in drug activities. He wanted to have friends, but nobody came near him or even talked with him because they thought that he might want them to use drugs with him. But what he was searching was some friends to hold him back from this pressure. He did not want to go on like this, but he did not know how to get rid of his addiction. His school caught him on drug dealing and expelled him without a warning. Thankfully, he was admitted into another high school, but his drug addiction did not end. While attending the school, he got to know about many types of drugs, and he found some new friends who dealt with drugs as him. He skipped school and went in search of drugs with his new friends. Finally, he dropped from high school and became a full-time drug user. At this time, his mother was concerned about her son's addiction to drugs and took him to the local hospital. They forwarded Patrick to a psychiatric facility home where he was evaluated by a number of doctors. After a number of tests, the doctors concluded that his brain is suffering from negative drug impacts and is needed to be admitted to the hospital as an inpatient. But things did not go on well with Patrick at this moment. During the period of being hospitalized, Patrick left the facility home several times. He did not like the way he was treated at the hospital. He thought that they were treating him like a mental patient. So, he always tried to escape from the hospital. Doctors had to feed him medicine with force and it became harder and harder for both the patient and the doctors. He was not mentally ill, but he was also not mentally stable, because his head would always search for his past habits. These treatments made Patrick both emotionally and physically ill. He was taken home from the hospital, but his behavior became vulgar that he started to behave like a really mentally ill person. His mother had said to the reporters that Patrick used to run across the streets naked or else would play with garbage pits around the neighborhood. He fled the facility center, and he even did not stay at home. He ran away from home and started to live in the streets. His old habits rose up again, making him a nasty drug addict. Now, he was nowhere near getting recovered from his addictiveness. Instead, he became more and more addicted to drugs, where he could not even keep up his body. Patrick had said to the reporters later that what pained him the most was the fact that his siblings would cuddle safely around his mother at home, but he would suffer a painful life running in the streets. He lived almost 10 years idling alone the streets and being addicted to drugs, and finally met his old classmate who helped him out from drowning in his huge mess. Wanja was so sad to see her old classmate like this. She never thought that a bright kid who ranked among the first in the school would end up with such complications. She had no time to talk with him in detail at that morning, so she took him to a nearby snack shop, bought him some food and drinks, and left him by saying to stay in touch with her. She gave him her phone number and asked to call her anytime when needed. Over the next days, Patrick stayed in touch with Wanja, and she always asked him about his whereabouts then and there. Wanja talked with him a lot and made his mind to a state that he wanted to get rid of this addiction. He was mostly encouraged by Wanja's kindness and caring that he said he wanted to start a new life. Drug rehabilitation is somewhat an expensive process in Kenya. Therefore, Wanja had to raise the funds in order to send Patrick for rehabilitation. She posted the story of Patrick in several social media websites and raised a total of $400 as funds. Still, they were in short of money for this big process. The raised funds were not enough to cover up the rehabilitation expenses. But Wanja did not stop her mission of helping her old friend. She pulled her own resources and found the remaining money. Patrick was so much thankful for the kindness of Wanja that he was determined to get well soon and make her friend proud. He was admitted to the rehabilitation center, and within the first 9 days, Patrick detoxed and gained some weight. He was about to change his whole life in a few days. Patrick's rehabilitation became successful day by day, and within a short period of time, he gained confidence in himself, where Wanja said that 2 to 3 weeks ago, he could not speak up confidently without letting her grab his head and try to concentrate. But now he can stand up by himself and talk with confidence and eye contact. Wanja posted about the recovery of Patrick, that many kind people helped them to share their story and raise more funds for the complete recovery of Patrick. The story, which she tweeted in her account, was retweeted by more than 50,000 people, and number of donations were given to help Patrick. With such a huge encouragement, Patrick recovered quickly and made the wish of Wanja fruitful. During the stay at the rehabilitation center, Patrick transformed into a new man, with a stable mentality and courage. He wanted to become the person which he always wanted to when he was a child. When he was 35 years of age, he started thinking of building up his future and becoming a successful person. With the help of many supportive souls, including Wanja, he started up a new business for himself named as Hinga's Store. The name of the shop was derived from the nickname given to him by his old schoolmates. Patrick participated in many other rehabilitation programs, and while he was there, his mother carried out the business for him. Wanja was dubbed as a hero among the people around them, but she humbly said, "People say I changed his life, but I changed mine too. I realize now that a small act can change a person's life." Many kids are misled and are getting addicted to unethical practices like drug dealing and human trafficking. Parents must be aware of their kids, and they should teach them how to deal with such abusive people. In our story today, Patrick had to suffer both his schooling years and teenage years because of a single mistake. If he did not start to consume cigarettes in the beginning, or else if his parents got to know about that in the beginning, he would not have suffered during the most precious time of one's life. In many countries, authorities have taken serious action for this problem, and there are many people and companies who are helping by raising funds in order to help the people going through rehabilitation. Patrick was fortunate enough to meet Wanja at the most critical time of his life, but not everyone is lucky enough to have a superhero like Wanja in their lives. So, it is better not to wait until it's too late, or you might not get a second chance. So that's the end of today's video, and hope you gained some knowledge about being a responsible citizen. Before going, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified with our latest updates. See you soon in our next video.